The Phoenician Scheme, directed by Wes Anderson, is his 12th feature-length film and is his third in 4 years. He has been a very busy man as of late. He has released, obviously, The French Dispatch, Asteroid City, and now Phoenician Scheme, also releasing a series of short films all throughout the end of 2023, I believe. He's just been everywhere, and a lot of people have been not necessarily fatigued by his work, but definitely getting sick of his usual style and saying that he's kind of lost the plot in terms of his filmography. I am not one of those people. I have been very vocal about my love for Wes Anderson and my very opinionated thoughts on his filmography. I think that he's doing some of his best work to date right now. I think that The French Dispatch is one of his densest and most inward looks at his own filmography. I think that Asteroid City breaks down what it means to be a story and all of that good fun jazz that I talked about in that review really well, and I loved mostly all of the shorts. To me, Wes is firing at all cylinders at the moment. I think that he is bringing something to the table that not a lot of other directors are even trying to. Despite the kind of varying results amongst audiences with his newer stuff, I have really latched onto it. So I, for one, was really excited for The Phoenician Scheme. He assembled a really great cast together. I think obviously a lot of actors, mainstream actors that is, are really latching onto his work, and it's not just his usual suspects either. People obviously want to be a part of the Wes Anderson lexicon, and especially with the very ambitious work that he's doing now, it's no surprise that he's getting these A-listers to be in his movies. Putting that all aside, The Phoenician Scheme is definitely a bit underwhelming, but also brings very new and fresh ideas to the table that I ended up really enjoying. Again, it's kind of redundant to talk about his visual style and the aesthetics of this film because we all know they're going to be great. Everything down from the costume, the production design, the cinematography, the way the camera moves, the way he uses the camera to tell a story, all of that is here, and it's not at its best like it was in something like The French Dispatch, where it's worth noting on, but it is worth commenting that, yes, that style is still very much here and still very much at the forefront. Compared to his latest work, though, this is definitely more of a refined and stripped back Wes Anderson. We get much more of a family-centric plot, something we haven't seen in a really long time from him. This movie is very much about the relationship between Benicio del Toro's character and his daughter, the nun. We get to see them grow their relationship throughout all of these weird schemes and ploys and stuff like that, and it is fun watching them basically go through an action-adventure film. It's not something that Wes Anderson has really dipped his toes into before, and it feels like a natural progression with his style and his usual visual language. I thought both Benicio del Toro and the actress who played his daughter were fantastic. I thought Michael Cera was hilarious. I thought that Benedict Cumberbatch was really funny as one of the movie's antagonists. But I really felt like this cast really clicked well together, and we got to see them kind of riff off of each other in these really silly and well-drawn-out moments. That's another thing I want to comment on. This is easily one of Wes's funniest films. Harkens back to something like Bottle Rocket with that kind of drier humor that's based on characters acting like normal people in heightened situations. I think where this movie kind of loses me is its inability to connect everything together. The best part about every newer Wes Anderson film is seeing how he can fold the story and crease the story in as many different ways as he wants to, but it still ends up coming out as a fully realized, beautiful picture. In this film, he is spinning a web of relationships and different things going on, but they never quite come together at the end. The entire structure of the movie feels off and feels a bit clunky, and I felt like it disengaged me from the happenings going on, no matter how interesting the performances and the characters really are. It can leave The Phoenician Scheme feeling a little bit disposable, which is something you can't really say at all for Asteroid City or The French Dispatch. Those movies really stand alone in his filmography, whereas this one kind of falls right in the middle. It's certainly not his worst movie to date. I wasn't not smiling at any time throughout it, but I felt myself not wanting to come back to its larger themes, and its more ambitious moments are kind of few and far between, where they don't really matter at the end product. I still really enjoyed my time with The Phoenician Scheme, don't get me wrong. It's still Wes Anderson, trying something new and creating a new box for himself to fit into, but I don't necessarily think that that fit is as snug as some of the other newer stuff that he's done. So overall, I'm going to give the Phoenician Scheme a 3.5 out of 5. I did like it. Again, I have my problems with it. I would like to see it again, but it's certainly not my favorite new thing that Wes Anderson has created. Let me know what you guys thought of the Phoenician Scheme in the comments down below, and I will see you in the next review. Thank you so much for watching.